All right, let's dive right in. If you have a 401k or an IRA, you know that feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you check your balance and the market is just plunging. Today, we're going to break down some proven strategies to help shield your hard-earned money from all that chaos.
In this quote, man, it just nails it. This isn't just about numbers on a screen. We're talking about the future you spent years, maybe decades, planning and saving for. It's a scary thought, but the good news is you don't have to just sit back and take it. You can be proactive.
Okay, so here's the most important thing you need to get. There is no one-size-fits-all answer here. Not at all. The smartest move for someone in their 30s is probably the worst move for someone in their 60s. It all comes down to one single thing: how much time you have until you need that money. All right, first up, let's talk to everyone who's getting close to that retirement finish line. If you're 5, 10 years out, or maybe you're already retired, your whole game plan has to change. It's no longer about offense, it's all about defense. It's about building a fortress around what you've already saved. And this slide really breaks down the two completely different games being played here. On one side, you have the pre-retirees. Their goal is capital preservation. Fancy words for don't lose my money. For them, protecting the principal is everything. On the other side, you've got long-term investors. Their goal? Wealth accumulation. They're still focused on growth. So if you're in that first camp, your whole focus just narrows. You're not trying to hit home runs anymore. You're just trying to make sure you don't get struck out by a sudden market crash. The goal is to get market risk off the table and create a paycheck for yourself that you can count on no matter what. So how do you do that? Well, one tool that comes up is something called a fixed index annuity, or an FIA. Just think of it like this. It's a way to get some of the stock market's growth without any of the stock market's losses. It's an insurance product that links your potential earnings to a market index. The key is it contractually guarantees you cannot lose your initial investment. So you might be wondering, how does this thing actually work? It's simpler than it sounds. Your money isn't directly in the stock market, but its growth is tied to how the market does. So if the S&P 500 has a good year, you earn some interest. But, and this is the big but, if the S&P 500 has a terrible year and drops 20%, you lose nothing. Your balance just stays flat. You make zero, but you lose zero. Now, it's super important to understand these things are not for everybody. They really are designed for a specific person, someone close to or in retirement who's terrified of losses but still wants a chance to grow their money. If you're under 40, you've got plenty of time to recover from a downturn, so this probably isn't for you. Okay, maybe an FIA sounds a little too complicated, or you don't want to lock your money up for that long. Totally fair. There's another defensive move to consider, the safe harbor strategy. Think of this as pulling your boat into a calm bay to wait out a storm, using something like a short-term guaranteed annuity or an IRA CD. And the trade-off here is pretty crystal clear. The good news? You get total peace of mind. Your principal is safe, you know exactly what interest rate you're getting, and it's short-term. The downside? Well, you're trading all that safety for lower growth. You're not going to get rich, but you're also not going to get poor. Okay, so that's the defensive playbook. Now, let's do a complete 180 and switch gears. Let's talk to all the long-term investors out there. If you've got 10, 20, 30 years to retirement, for you, the story is completely different. This right here, this is a total mind shift. You have to start thinking of a market crash not as a disaster, but as a sale, a big one. Everything you want to own, all those stocks and funds in your 401k, is suddenly on the discount rack. It's an opportunity, not a crisis. I know. That sounds completely backwards, right? How on earth can watching your account balance tank actually be a good thing for you in the long run? Well, it all comes down to one really powerful and, honestly, pretty simple strategy. And that strategy is dollar cost averaging. And guess what? If you have a 401k, you're probably already doing it. Every time your paycheck hits, you invest the same amount of money. When the market is down, that fixed amount of money buys you more shares. When it's up, it buys you fewer. It's automatic. Now, the upsides to this are huge. It takes the emotion out of investing and forces you to be disciplined. But let's be real, the downsides are tough. It is hard, psychologically, to keep putting money in when you see your balance dropping. And it's crucial to remember, this strategy does nothing to protect the money you already have invested. It only makes your new money work harder. All right, here's another pro-level move for all you long-term thinkers out there, the Roth conversion. When the market's down, your account balance is temporarily lower. That's the perfect time to convert some of your traditional pre-tax retirement money into a Roth IRA.
You'll pay taxes on that smaller amount now, and then all of its future growth for the rest of your life is 100% tax-free.
Okay, we've talked about the defenders near retirement and the attackers with time on their side. But now let's bring everybody back together. Because there are a few rules that apply to everyone. I don't care if you're 25 or 65, these are the universal truths. And this is it, the big one. If you remember only one thing, make it this: do not panic. The absolute worst thing you can do when the market crashes is sell. All you're doing is taking a temporary, on-paper loss and making it a permanent, real-life loss of your money. And if you need proof of why you should just hang on, look at history. This is the simple truth. Crashes happen. They're a normal part of investing. But recoveries have always followed, every single time. The only people who truly get hurt are the ones who jump ship mid-storm. So what does that mean for you practically? It really comes down to two golden rules. Rule number 1, stop letting your feelings drive the bus. Make your financial plan when you're calm and stick to it when you're scared. And rule number 2, diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your money around so that a hit in one area doesn't sink your entire portfolio.
Okay, one last thing before we go. You hear these words thrown around on the news all the time. A market correction, a crash. What's the actual difference? Because they're not the same thing.
It's actually pretty simple. Think of a correction, which is a drop of about 10%, like a quick, sharp thunderstorm. It's intense, but it's usually over relatively fast. A crash, or a bear market, which is a drop of 20% or more, is more like a long, cold winter. It sticks around for a while. Knowing the difference can help you keep the headlines in perspective. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Market volatility is coming. It's not an if, it's a when. The key isn't trying to predict the storm, it's about building a ship that can handle it. Whether that's a defensive shield or an offensive growth plan, being prepared is everything. So, is your plan ready?